Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to the show. Here we are. We're getting used to our new integrated computer here. Welcome, happy Thanksgiving everyone. We've got...
Thanks for spending Thanksgiving Day with us. This is a pre-recording because we're not doing a live show right now. It's about noon Pacific time. And then, we're going to do a little cooking today. So, yay.
Yeah, everyone says, how can you cook with a white shirt on, Dave? Now you have a nice shirt.
I have a white shirt on too.
Yeah, so
not?
Why not? I mean, as long as you don't get messy, you're fine. Everything works great.
I left my apron somewhere else, I think. Okay.
We're going to be doing the turkey thing, and it's going to take a while. We've got everything we're going to start with just getting the turkey out. You're going to kind of track.
So the first thing I'm doing is toasting up some bread. We don't buy breadcrumbs or stuffing out of a box. We make our own stuffing from scratch, or some people call it dressing, the stuff that goes inside the turkey. So we start with a really good organic non-GMO bread, grapeseed, and we toast that up. So that's what I'm doing right now. That's why you see my thing moving over to the toaster oven.
The toaster. So
that's what we start with.
We're starting with the toasting of the bread, and then we let it kind of sit out a little bit before we cut it, so it gets kind of stale. Not stale, but dry.
We'll dry it out a little bit. Okay.
And then we cut it up into croutons, and it's a lot better than buying the bags of croutons that are heavily salted. And when making the stuffing, this is the first thing you do with your Thanksgiving dinner. Sarah's showing you our new camera angle. And today we're doing a show with a completely brand new computer, which we picked up. I'll tell you a little story about that. Let me put this over here. We have our old laptop, which was veritably 3 years old. Decided it had a fracture in the LED screen, and we took it into to our electronics company, and they ended up honoring our 3-year warranty and giving us credit for the old laptop because of the damaged screen. And see, Sarah's going to just cut those up in slices, and then cut it the other way, so when she's done, she'll make croutons out of this. And we're going to probably use about 9 pieces of toast because we're going to make a big, huge stuffing and extra stuffing.
David loves stuffing.
Yeah, we love it. And the stuffing that we make will be made in the turkey and also outside of the turkey.
You could almost do stuffing 2 ways. You could do stuffing in the turkey one way, but
I don't
think we have oysters this time.
No, we have canned oysters, but people say, don't use canned oysters for stuffing. I don't think I'm going to make oyster stuffing this year. We're going to make a non-cured kielbasa, turkey kielbasa with apples, and we'll peel a few apples and we'll put in walnuts. So it'll be a traditional apple walnut sausage stuffing today. And the nice thing about this new computer is it really is lighter than the other one. The other one was really bulky, and now we can carry this around in a laptop bag. When they say lighter laptops, it means much more efficient battery-wise. That's good. And it's a gaming laptop. We went from a gaming laptop to another gaming laptop, and the best thing about gaming laptops is the fans in the back cool it better than the fans underneath. And when you buy a laptop, if you get a gaming laptop and get the fans in the back like this Dell, it really keeps it cool. Because the number one problem with laptops is they overheat. And sometimes when your laptop's malfunctioning, you can get some of that spray air and put it in the back and blow out the fans. So if you are having problems with your normal laptop, blowing out the fans is really important on a regular basis. Now today we're going to take 2 hours for the cooking, which is perfect because you're watching us while we're eating right now, and we are also monitoring chat. So when we get around to playing this on record, we'll be watching chat.
What's nice is that I can help David cook, and David can talk as much as you'd like.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Now, I've had a lot to talk about, and
I know.
today I decided I'm just going to talk about America in a good, positive light.
Things you're thankful for and all that.
Things I'm thankful for. I'm not a victim of a terrible fire that just happened in California. You know, we're all hanging in there. Worried though that there's something not quite right about all of this. Something's not right, especially with a natural dryness in California, in the Southern California area, as well as mid central California. It's unnaturally dry. It has been for some time. Today we have I found a can of organic whole berry cranberry sauce, and I normally don't even eat cranberry sauce, but
Yeah,
This is
whereas I
perfect.
put probably cranberries in the stuffing, but I'm not going to because
I've never heard it put in stuffing. I know that this is going to require some eggs and some parsley and some chicken stock. So normally when you make stuffing, you want to get the chicken stock going. So I usually open up the turkey at this point, and I'll pull it out. You don't have to get it out. I'm going to get it out. She's going to get it out. Look at that. She's in there.
Be
Getting,
sure that you don't try to cook a frozen turkey on Thanksgiving Day. You need to have it defrosted
Defrosted, yeah.
for good. You need to have it fully defrosted so that it can take up to a week.
yeah. Fresh and natural, no added steroids or hormones. This was $13. It was 12. It was 99 cents a pound, and it's like a 13-pound
I
turkey.
think that's the most you spent per pound on a turkey.
Yeah, but you know, people are spending $60 for a turkey with non-GMO organic turkeys are roughly $60 fresh. We got this for $13, so I think we're okay making a few concessions in life. You can't be 100% perfect all the time, right? Especially if we're looking at a budget of about $20 for dinner, and we'll make a lot of meals out of this turkey.
Okay, I'm gonna put that over there. Let me move this, rotate it around so you can see
Yep.
the turkey process because you actually kind of start.
Yep. Let's do that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let you.
so-
Let me cut the plastic off. So.
One thing I do, I know I can't use a microwave. I was gonna heat up some water. Can I do that? I don't know.
You can do that if you want.
This is my tip for everybody doing turkey. Whether you do fresh or actually you don't have to do it with fresh. Or you can cut the plastic off if you want.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna cut it off. I'll just cut the top of.
And then maybe I don't need to do this with the fresh one.
You're gonna be using fresh water.
Yeah, I was gonna use some
Yeah, that's great.
fresh water and heat it up and then pour it inside the turkey because two things. One, especially even if this one's fresh, so it shouldn't be a problem. But if you had a frozen turkey, even if you were defrosting it for a week, the issue can become that the gizzards inside are still frozen. And so I hate reaching my hand into something super cold.
Yeah. Now, as with everything, whenever you use utensils, you want to rinse them off. You don't want to leave a chicken or turkey. We're getting a little microwave. Stand away from the microwave. You're going to heat that up.
Well, I was gonna pour some hot water in the turkey, how to get the turkey,
Oh.
and then for two reasons. One, it starts the cooking process on the inside, and two, when I reach my hand inside, it's not so cold to get gizzards out.
So it's to reach your hand inside and get it warm in there. This tends to be frozen inside, especially if you get the turkey a couple days before your event. And that's kind of an interesting side effect. Having to take the frozen and melt it down with hot water actually makes total sense. I think I'm going to get a little bit of water on the stove too to kind of get the neck bone to heat up. And we're going to make our broth out of the neck bone and gizzards. So I'm going to throw some nice. This is going to be in the brush and the stuffing, so I'm going to actually use filtered water for this right here. And I'm going to get about 2 cups of water going because it'll take about 2 cups of broth.
I know you always do the show this way, but I was wondering, since we're always turning toward the stove, it's like we're turning this way. Can I switch these 2 cameras or no? So that it looks like we're looking toward the
If you
stove.
want to, go ahead and do whatever you want.
I'm just going to slide this over this way.
Sure.
Slide this over. And then slide.
If that works for you, that's whatever you want. So I'm going to get the 2 cups of water going on a small flame back here.
So then let me just push
And then we'll add the, Sarah's going to go in and take the hot water, and she's going to go ahead and put the hot water into the cavity of the turkey to pull out the neck bone.
There we go. I just feel like we're always turning this way. Now it looks like I'm turning and cooking. So let me move this over just a tiny bit. All right. Yeah, see? Now you can see there. I'm turning and cooking. Just like spatial like that. I'm kind of funny. I'm a kind of funny person when it comes to those kind of little quirky. I'm a little quirky. Yes, that's the word. A little bit quirky. I don't mind being quirky though, as anyone who's seen my show knows. All right. Okay, my more toast is coming out. I think I made, he said 9 pieces. I got 6, 7, 8, 9. I think he wants more than that. I'm gonna do 2 more pieces of toast.
Yep, we'll get about 9 pieces of toast into it.
The only thing is I've just got to pull this off. Happy Thanksgiving. There we go.
That's better.
Yeah, right it is.
Okay, I got your hot water for you. I'll let you do that.
Okay, thanks. Alright, there. I'll move this over just a little bit.
I got that going there. And Sarah's going to pour some hot water into the cavity. I think we're good because this is defrosted over a while. It shouldn't be frozen there, but if you want to do that,
Oh, that's an issue.
you can rinse off the turkey at the same time with nice hot fresh water too. So that's good.
That's almost good too.
Yeah, that
Okay.
looks kind of nice.
All
Kind
right.
of gives us a different perspective.
Yeah. I just feel like when let me move this to the front for just a minute. Up, and then I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Up. And bigger. No. It's funny when I want to do that one, it doesn't select it. I'll do the other way. There we go. Now move this one to the front. Move it up. All right. And then I'll pull it up when we're doing other stuff.
I am going to go outside and find some parsley for this stuffing. So
Oh, thank you.
you can pull out the gizzards and put the neck bone and all the gizzards in the hot water
Okay.
on the stove.
Yeah.
So we don't even have to salt anything because remember your turkey has salt in it. That's a good thing.
Yes.
There's
usually it's
salted
been
turkey.
brined or whatever that is that they say.
Never.
So I've got my hot water, and that just came out of the microwave. And then I'm going to pour that into the center here. Then I reach my hand inside. Pull out the neck. He's got a little hot water going on the stove. then usually that's all that there is in that side. And then on the back is going to be the other, like the pouch of the heart and all that. Okay. Okay. Hold this up. Here's the wings. So up here where the neck would be, that's also usually you lift up in the flap here, and they've got in this pouch the Awesome Poultry Workers. I've got a little pouch of all these organs, turkey organs. I might just have to cut those open and then put those in, and that will go in to make the gravy or the chicken broth for the stuffing rather. Turn the camera around, or
Yeah,
or
I'll
bring the pot over and I can put the pot.
Okay, I'll put the. Absolutely. Just throw it right in there. Liver, onion, the heart.
Liver, heart, and I don't gizzards.
Yep, gizzards. That's it.
That's the heart. That's it looks like a liver.
Mhm.
No, it looks like gizzards, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
That's basically it.
I'm not sure with the heart and the gizzards which is which.
Now I pulled. We grow our own herbs here, so I pulled some parsley, a handful of parsley for this stuffing. Should be enough.
Okay, you wanna put the bird in here, or
Yeah, if you
I'll
want.
hold it, or can you hold it and I'll put
Sure.
it?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna put the. You guys can't see that. Let me lift this up a little bit.
There you go. Okay.
This is our turkey
There you go.
roasting pot.
We'll just set it in there. You did rinse out inside, right, earlier?
Oh, let me do that again.
Yeah, we're just going to throw some water in the overall the outside and kind of get it all.
It's kind of nice to get the brine that they usually cook it in. And it's kind of actually with the hot water, it kind of starts to cook in the inside, which you know, or if you don't know, that's the hardest part of the turkey to cook.
Yeah.
Is the inside. That's where it stays coldest the longest.
Mhm.
The hardest part for the oven heat to get to.
Yeah.
So doing this little trick with some hot water gets that kind of starting to cook.
Pre-cook it. Yeah, a little bit. Just a little hot
A
water.
little bit. Just a little hot water to rinse out the cavities.
That's a perfect size for this
Look at
container.
that.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Perfect turkey roaster size. So we can just set
That's
it in there,
gorgeous.
in there for now.
I think.
Hang on. There we go. All right. And you want to throw away your wrappers, of course. That's
Yeah, I just didn't want the turkey sitting on the sink because you never know what sinks. They're
Yeah.
not the cleanest.
salmonella is always a problem. You don't want to get turkey juice on anything like knives or forks.
Yes, I need to go get some soap.
Paper towel here.
Actually, I'm going to bring some hand soap in.
I don't want to put any hand soap flavoring on the food, so
Well, I'm going to.
if you want to wash your hands, I'll give you a paper towel. I just, that's when people do wash their hands with soap and then they start handling the turkey. It's like, oh, this turkey tastes like palm olive. That's great. Yeah. I'll never forget the worst turkey nightmare I've ever had. I was working in TV and my producer was having a party at her house, the TV producer, and she wanted me, the production assistant, to go pick up a turkey that she'd ordered from a company, turkey and ham, to bring to the party, already pre-cooked with all the fixings. And a lot of people are doing this right now. They're going to outside sources for their turkeys and having them pre-cooked and delivered to their house. That's pretty much what I did back in the 80s. And I went into this restaurant that she'd already pre-ordered her organic turkey. And this thing was like $300 or $400 for the whole package back then. I mean, it was huge. It was like everything. And I went into the restaurant and it smelled like pine sol. I mean, it was like unbelievable. The smell of pine sol was overwhelming. Turned out all the turkey and the ham that I had to pick up smelled like pine sol. I didn't say anything. I was just like, I just got the heck out of there. And I did my job to deliver the turkey. But I even said, hey, this stuff is kind of, I don't think they like that. But no one wants to spend $300 for pine sol smelling turkey. And luckily, I never ate that turkey. I just delivered it.
He knew. You knew. Nobody else knew.
It was organic, but they were using pine sol in the restaurant.
It was organic, but they were using pine sol.
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable. It was like, how could you possibly have this level of pine sol in a place that's making turkeys for everybody?
Well, especially when you're making organic turkeys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, organic. This is before genetically modified even came into existence. So it was all organic, and everyone was buying, no pesticides, no herbicides in your turkey. But I think Foster Farms does really well for the price. I think getting a Foster Farms turkey will be pleased with that. I've had their chickens and turkeys before. They're very good quality. But again, they're not free range. They're not having the perfect ideal life. So when you're eating your turkey, you're wondering.
Thank you, turkey, for giving your life for us.
Yeah.
Sorry you're not part
what
of
kind of life did you have, turkey? I don't know.
But I'm so glad I'm eating turkey and not chicken this year.
Yeah. Well, we only had chicken a couple times because I was too cheap to buy a turkey. We reconstructed a turkey, I think, in 2010 from chicken parts. That was funny. That was a funny Thanksgiving. We've done this many years now, so it's not like this is the first experience at making it a beautiful. So she's busily cutting all this stuff. This is the hard part. And I'm going to get a tray you can throw all the croutons on.
I don't need a tray, I've got a bowl.
Oh, even better.
I was going to do the tray earlier, but then I said, well, it'll have to go into a bowl eventually to make this stuffing, so
Sounds good.
engineer the environment for success and do it right away.
Yeah. Now, we have a massive sage plant outside. And
Yes, we do.
I harvested the sage leaves from this massive sage plant about 2 years ago. And I could even harvest more, but I got these dried sage leaves that I'm still working with, and they're great. This is like real, authentic, organic sage. So
We have enough sage to have sage for the whole city.
it still smells like sage. But admitted, yeah, once you crack those leaves, they smell like sage. I'm going to put some sage in the water with the chicken neck and gizzards. So I'm going to kind of pre-flavor the broth with sage.
Okay.
And normally I would start the broth with onions and celery at the base of the broth, but today we're just going to kind of cook chicken broth and get that going, because we will be cooking onions and celery. In order to put in the stuffing, we'll be cooking that on a pan and then adding everything together. So it'll all blend, but right now I'm going to go ahead and just get this going. It's already coming up to got a nice, I'd say about 2 tablespoons of sage, or at least 1 large heaping tablespoon of sage.
Sorry.
There we go. Okay. We're breaking the sage up in the water here. So what we want to do is get this broth to a nice hard boil. So I'm going to actually take it up to level 6, and we'll go from there. I'll be putting sage in the turkey as well. I think I can throw a little bit in the cavity right now, some sage, just right here. Throw it right in the base there. You don't want to put any stalks or anything. That's just to kind of get things started. Very good. Okay.
Right, I next is gonna go all this parsley.
Yeah, I like the way you put the
Did you
cameras.
already,
I didn't rinse it off, so you just want to rinse it off a little bit under some water. Let's go ahead and move
put
that.
that on that side?
Rinse that off. There you go.
That's our filter, or what is it called?
Filtered reverse osmosis water.
Reverse osmosis filter. Yeah.
We have some of the most, well, I'm not going to say contaminated because it's mostly just,
Yeah, it's drinkable.
it's,
Way better than what they said it was when they first started this place.
yeah, well, we're getting 500 parts per million total dissolved solids in our,
And it doesn't
in our
have
water.
that contamination that they have in nearby.
Yeah, I'll mention that too. The water is, it's got some ground, because we live on an island, we get a lot of seawater on the outside, so the water tends to be calcified a little bit.
But we don't have any seawater contamination in our water.
But our water, we reverse osmosis. It helps keep out, excuse me, it helps keep out the dangerous, anything, high levels of total dissolved solids. Typically in America, your total dissolved solids are about 60 to 80 parts per million. Sometimes they're 25. I mean, some lakes in America have 25 parts per million. We're at 500. So when we tried to buy a zero water filter originally, which we triple filter our water, the zero water filter clogged up in 5 gallons. And I called the company and they said, yeah, you're at the highest level, sir, but we'll give you another replacement. So they sent me another filter. I was really impressed with the company. And then we pre-filtered the water going into the zero water filter, and then we got the best quality water we could get. But in our area, there's Navy contamination spots 10 miles south of here and 10 miles north of here, where the Navy's been dropping flame retardant in the ground for years. And they registered 400 parts per million of flame retardant at a local water test that was 10 miles from here. Luckily, there's none in our water. So we're in a very good place to not get, the contamination that's so
ours
typical.
has been tested every year, and
Yeah, and ours get tested.
they've improved over the years.
They have definitely. But now they're talking about installing a saltwater softener in the system, and I'm trying to get them to go to deionization, which is a lot better and doesn't add salt to the water, which would be a lot better. Here you have fresh water, you're adding salt to soften it. It's kind of ridiculous. And they want to charge $50,000 or $60,000 to our community for a filter system that softens water with salt all the time. It's like, so I'm going to have to get the information to them.
I just turned that down to low. Is that alright?
Yeah, you drop to level 3, let it boil. Once it's got a boil, you can simmer it. What we're doing is we're boiling, creating broth from the chicken parts. And you can certainly add garlic powder and onion powder to that, but not garlic salt or onion salt. Yeah. Typically the prep on a show like this will take about 2 hours to get everything in the oven. And Sarah and I have decided not to make a...
Can we put the turkey on the other side so I can use it?
Sure, coming up, yep. Typically we're not going to make anything else besides... We were going to make a pie, but I think that's just too much.
We've got a frozen pie. I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I'll pull that out right now.
You don't have to. Usually the pies.
Okay, I'll put it out from the freezer into
you can look at it.
We got this for $3.99, marked down from $7.99.
You can look at the directions. You can read those too.
It says bakes fresh from oven, made with fresh apples. It's a Marie Callender's pie. Yeah, this will be easy. We don't want to bother getting too over the top here. It's got fairly good ingredients. I don't recommend hydrogenated soybean oil, but I'll eat it. But yeah, preheat oven to 400. We can do ours at 350. This will go toward the last hour of baking, 50 to 55 minutes. think I can leave it out. It doesn't say it has to be come from the freezer in there.
Didn't it just say can cook?
Nope. There's no specific. Nope. No specific laws said you have to go from the freezer into the oven.
No, you don't have to, but you.
Well, I'm just going to let it sit out. I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
We got 2 cups of
Yes,
water
sir.
in that cooking thing. And,
Alright, you can put the bread away.
okay,
I
I will.
think we have enough bread.
You know, this is we would normally play music in our show, but I really don't have any music I can play that's copyright free. So, other than the stuff that I create, so I think we're good. This is a significant amount of bread you put in there. Thank you so much.
Well, I know you like stuffing, so.
Yeah, and I have this extra container I'll be making the I'm gonna rinse it out a little bit. Be making the the extra stuffing in the extra container aside from inside the turkey. And I know what I need to get out. I have to get out the kielbasa sausage that I'll be putting in the stuffing.
Yeah, you can't pre-cook that, right?
It's already pre-cooked. I'm gonna stir fry it into some celery. Oh no, we don't do the. That's not quite how I do it. Yeah, you're putting it all together, but it has to be pre-cooked. So we're gonna take the celery and put it on top of there. Okay. She's gonna put it on top of that pan, and I'm gonna cook that at low. You want to pre-cook the celery and the onions, and I'm going to get the big onions for you. Yeah, otherwise it won't cook inside. It'll be a hard celery inside of that stuffing if you don't pre-cook it. Yeah, we have a person in our chat room that hates celery, so I just tell people if you don't like celery, then just don't put it in there. I
Just
mean,
add extra onions.
yeah, add extra onions. So this is organic celery and organic onions we're using today.
Do you need to open a new olive oil?
Yeah, you can open up that, put it in with the celery, just about a tablespoon of olive oil. I am definitely in the mood for. I'm in the mood for a cup of coffee. I'm going to get
I'm
one.
in the mood to open it.
God, this
Just put it in the fridge
No,
or
it's just-
freezer as it
yeah,
is.
I
It
just
doesn't
don't
need all
understand
that.
why they put so much plastic out there. And it's crazy how much plastic we make in our society and without even resolving it. And it's like whenever you buy things, it's double wrapped with plastic, which is ridiculous. And I just drop seeds all over the floor. And I just
Awesome.
grab the bag, so I have to wash my hand.
Oh, great.
I don't want my floor hand to touch any food.
Yeah, but you don't want to. You want to go wash it in the bathroom, soap. And,
No, I think I can rinse it off, because if I use soap on my hands, I was telling this to people earlier, if I use soap on my hands, you get the soap smell in the food, and you don't want to have soap residue in your food. Just,
I can't open
I'll
that.
get the,
I'll take all day and I still won't open it because my hands are cold.
one of the things that I do whenever I have to open a bottle is grab a washcloth. There you go. You get the grip. We're good. All right, thank you, Sarah. I'll just put a tablespoon of oil in the base for the celery, and I'm going to try to get all the celery in there. Otherwise, you won't be able to eat this.
It's just a little celery. A little crunch is fine.
Yeah, a little crunch, but again, the onions and celery have to be pre-cooked when going in the stuffing. You can't just put it into a turkey and expect it to, especially the celery, otherwise it'll be really crunchy. And the onion too. So anyway, I'm not going to get stressed out here. One of the biggest problems with cooking, that's why we take a couple hours here to cook, is because I don't want to get stressed out. You know, it's important to not do stress.
I'm just peeling an onion. Then I'll chop it up. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, good. But the parsley can go in there fresh. That's all good. Yeah.
There's many parts to making a stuffing from scratch. I understand why people do it out of a box, but it's just so salty out of a box.
Yeah.
And some people definitely are more salt sensitive.
Now, normally I would use the entire sausage, but I don't think we really need this entire sausage.
Okay.
Unless, well, I think we could, yeah.
That's fine. I don't really like kielbasa anyway. So.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is just cut it in half and use half of it. Sarah's doing all the cutting, which is fine.
Right, you can if you want.
No, I'd be better off not cutting and doing all that right now. Yeah.
You want the whole onion, right?
Yeah, the whole onion, full large onion goes into the hot pan. And I will kind of like massage the pan there. And we're boiling the chicken parts to make broth. Right in there. Thank you. And you grew these little onions here.
Yeah.
They're too small for our purposes.
So I slice down and then across, and if you leave that part attached to it, then the kind of the root, it kind of helps so it doesn't all fall apart when you're slicing down, and that's why you start with those kind of cuts and then cross and
Yeah, you're doing great.
nice dice on your.
I was already just sharpened that knife again, I think. I just sharpened it, but it loses its blade.
Especially because I cut all the bread with it.
Yeah, but
That's probably what led to it. Oh yeah, and as you get to the core, that's where the onion part makes you cry. So if you do that last,
here, I'll pull that over there. There you go.
then it won't make you cry as much.
Very good. We're gonna go ahead and.
I've got another couple celery stalks coming too.
Oh, okay, great. Well, we're gonna pre-cook all the celery in this little container. Celery and onions. And oh, you got the onion spray. Wow. Let me get in here and just hit the center of this with a.
Oh, you want me to do that?
I got it. I cut the bag right there so I could just pull one sausage out and freeze the rest for another meal. It's one of those packages of breakfast sausages will work too.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, then I can just freeze the rest of this with a rubber band around it for another meal. Sounds good. I bought these these uncured sausages for $1. Normally they're like $3.99 a package.
True. The only kielbasa I will eat is uncured.
Right. Now you dislike anything like processed meat, right? That's mostly.
Mostly, yeah. I don't like processed meat. That's true. I hate ham. I hate bologna.
Sarah
hot
taught me
dogs.
all this about processed meat, and she's the one that got me away from ever eating a hot dog again.
Nitrates. I mean, I'll eat them every once in a while, like you'll eat whatever you were saying today. But I'm not a fan.
Right.
Ironically, though, I do like sausage as far as like breakfast sausage, and I like bacon.
And she'll eat this type of sausage, Vienna sausages.
I haven't had those for like 2 decades, so I don't know if I would eat them anymore. But
Well, I guess my survival food will have to just sit there in the box, I guess, because I bought these a decade ago, and we really need to eat them now.
I can't say if I like them or not. I mean, I liked them when I met you, but I also liked hot dogs when I was 6.
No, true.
So,
Well, I will definitely not be cooking with those, only under extreme situations. We found out dangers of MSG recently, and we found out that a lot of food has MSG in it. Even Campbell's soup we're not using this year for our bean dish. Here, I'll hold that.
I got it.
Well, you're holding everything.
Yeah, I know.
Let me help you. Okay, pre-cooking the celery and the onions. Thank you. Well, you definitely got enough celery in there. I know Howie won't like that, but that's okay. We're not cooking for Howie.
Well, he also doesn't like our grammatical incorrect.
Actually, nothing about. I've contended this all along. There's nothing grammatically incorrect about our opening. We have an evolving.
It says a dangling preposition or something.
Yeah, but the dangling preposition has been an optional criticism of many authors for many years now, and I think our language is evolving. So people are even truncating words to just be ROLF, LOL. LOL will be a word someday. People will say, "Well, what do you mean?"
I think it already is.
Yeah, it's a word now. LOL is a word. So,
Like ha-ha.
yeah.
Instead of ha-ha,
We do. Our language is a living language, and people think it's secured in concrete and you can't move it. And language itself is evolving, I think. Yeah. So what I'm going to do with this sausage is I rinsed it off, and then I'm going to just slice it.
Here, I can slice it for you.
Well, it's still frozen, so the reason why I wanted to do it.
You want to defrost?
Yeah, I wanted to do something here, so I'm going to slice this. Even when it's frozen, you can still slice it.
That's true. Sometimes it's even easier to slice when it's frozen. That's very true.
Yeah,
Good
so
job.
I'm just slicing off the little pieces right here that will go into the stuffing.
Oh, you do that when you clean up my
Yeah, we always clean up after ourselves.
onion and
Yeah.
celery pieces. Compost. Yes, even onion skins, they'll eventually break down into soil.
Yeah. Everything in the compost, really. Sarah got me into vermiculture, and she's been doing a lot of composting at her garden, at her school, so everybody's really getting benefits from it. We've got more production out of our food with the vermicompost and the really good stuff.
Tons of tomatoes still.
Yeah. I'm going to throw these in the bin of onions too, just to kind of preheat them.
I did do a little extra celery, sorry.
Well, Howie's going to really not like you, I'll tell you. He's
I can take the celery out.
No, once you cut it, it's like Howie will not be having dinner with us, sir. I love celery, especially organic celery. So it's full of roughage, and there's really no reason to hate it.
Shoot.
I got it.
Okay. I prefer to cut on a cutting board, but that's...
Well, when you're cutting a sausage, you can't cut on a cutting board.
And you have to have full attention on what you're cutting.
Yeah, but you can't cut meat on a cutting board. Otherwise, the meat will get in the cutting board and develop a recurring problem of potential salmonella. Now, with the recent... Well, that camera is almost within shy of my feet. We've got people in our show that look at my feet. I hope they didn't see my feet.
No, they saw your pants, but not your feet.
Oh, good, because we've got these foot fetish people that are just so obsessed with feet. It's ridiculous.
I'm wearing slippers.
And I go barefoot on a flat floor. I don't really care. I guess it's the Native American in me.
Okay.
I really like the stability of this computer, and XSplit works great. It's like amazing.
All right, the next thing that I'm doing is peeling some potatoes. I mean, not potatoes. I'll do that later.
So
Here, apples.
apples? Oh yeah, she's gonna peel apples.
These have already been washed.
Oh great. Now, this year we have so many apples out here. It's amazing. We're apple country out here in Washington. And this year, Sarah brought home a huge crate full of apples, fresh, that nobody wanted because they had too much. So we got a full bushel of apples. We're going to be making applesauce, and some of these are going into our dinner right here, and it's all very good. Yeah, normally we read chat, but as you know, we're pre-recording.
You can always go live if you want.
No, I don't want, and I really don't want to read chat, because when I do read
It
chat,
stresses you out, and there's
Yeah.
enough stress of just cooking
I agree.
with me in the room.
Well,
I mean, normally you read chat when you do your Thursday show, but you don't have me in that room.
Yeah, well, you're like the best sous chef ever. I mean, you're not in any way invasive. You know, it's like a good sous chef does a lot of the backup work, and I really don't like to be a chef per se. I wouldn't want to cook for a lot of people. We watch Kitchen Nightmares and Hell's Kitchen, Sarah and I do, and we enjoy the show. But Gordon Ramsay is so stressed out. This guy is he's like 7-8 years younger than me, and he's got way more wrinkles. It's kind of weird. I guess it's just the constant frustration he faces, having to, yell at people, and I don't know how healthy it is to cook and yell at people. It's just, it kind of loses the whole luster of cooking when you're screaming at people, It's kind of funny from an entertainment perspective to see people, getting raked on for just simple things like not knowing everything that he does. But I mean, he's taken it to a whole another level, really. I mean, my God, man, pull yourself together. Piss off. All these things he does in his show. It's bizarre.
Alright, so I'm just peeling these apples, and then I'll probably core them and then dice them, put those into with the bread, because they do not need to be pre-cooked, because otherwise they'll just turn into mush. Unlike the celery that needs to be pre-cooked, because otherwise it will be too hard. You always have to think of all the textures and everything with all of that. Yeah. So anyway, and then the next thing after this, what I'll do is we'll get out walnuts, and either David or I can show you how we take the walnuts and then use a little mallet and then break them down into smaller pieces, because you don't want a big mouth with just a big giant walnut. You want the walnuts to be spread evenly throughout the stuffing, so we're going to do that as well. Then by the time we get the apples and the walnuts into the stuffing, then the celery, onion, sausage mixture should be cooked enough to add in. I should have added some of the water from the turkey neck bones and stuff, which I'll probably do in there, and then we'll kind of recook the turkey neck bones to get the broth, like a kind of a broth going for gravy. And then of course after I do all these potatoes, then I'll do I say potatoes, I'm thinking far ahead of myself, trying to multitask. But once I peel all the apples and get those going, then I'll cook some potatoes. I personally really I like mashed potatoes, but I don't like the effort that goes into mashed potatoes. So I only do mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving. I don't do mashed potatoes generally because I put a lot of effort into my mashed potatoes. I don't like, David will just do potatoes like on the stove. He cuts them in half and then cooks them in a little water in David's steam fry method that you're all familiar with, I'm sure. So anyway, we'll get that going. But I'm going to do it differently. I like to, so my mom and when I was growing up, what she would do was she'd boil the potatoes whole, and then once they came out, once they were done boiling, we'd take them and we'd peel them, and then put them in like a Pyrex or a bowl, and then add milk and butter and salt, mash them all up, and that's what I like to do on Thanksgiving because it's just, they're so much creamier.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're really good. And then I don't know about, well, I'll look and see what we're gonna do, but I also have to get the green bean casserole going. We're gonna do that a little bit different this year than previous years. We're going to do, here I should move over. So this year for green bean casserole, we, instead of cream of mushroom soup, which is the traditional way to do it, we are going to do a broccoli cheese soup.
Yeah.
I love broccoli cheese.
Yeah,
And as the base, and then we'll add mushrooms. We have fresh mushrooms,
Yeah.
cans of green beans.
Now we picked up this stuff
maybe
at
some
Kirkland.
frozen green beans.
We got this on sale at Costco. This is their brand, and it does not have any MSG in it. And I know that was really important because the cream of mushroom soup that we were looking at all had MSG in it, and Howie did convince us that MSG does affect our brain, and we didn't want to do that.
He probably says celery has natural MSG or something like that.
No, I mean he just hates celery, so for some reason his whole life is about hating celery. But yeah, this will be great. I think one container of this two container deal will be more than enough.
Yeah, that will be more.
It's already pre-made, Sarah. You love
Yeah.
this stuff.
I do. I made a cream of mushroom soup last time I was sick.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Now this is pretty salty, so you may want to use it in like half a container even and mix it with some milk or whatever.
Yeah.
You do.
That's so
Great.
good.
I'll put the other back.
And then you have frozen green beans, or
Well,
should
today
we
I wanted to
can?
show people, Del Monte's coming out with these new products that are all non-GMO, and I want to show you what we got. I've got 2 cans of pre-cut French-style beans. Del Monte's making non-GMO stuff now. Isn't this cool? So we got 2 cans of Del Monte French-style beans, and I think you got we've got the natural non-GMO onion rings too.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of make an offshoot of the normal
Crispy
traditional
beans.
dinner with cream of mushroom soup. We went with something even tastier. Excuse me. Yeah, so we just woke up. This is like, we do this from 10 to 12 prep, and we get everything in the oven at around 12. And then we just sit back and watch, and then at about an hour before serving, we throw the pie in to the oven, and we make whatever pie we have. Today we got a Marie Callender pie, like I said earlier. But
Okay, so the next thing, maybe you can show them the walnuts and how we do the walnuts, or I can do that.
Yeah, I want to show them how I take older plastic bags and utilize those.
We do also have some old Ziploc bags in there.
Okay, well, we can do that too.
Whichever one.
Okay. All right, this is a new bag, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you do the cutting and opening at the time. I got scissors. I want to show people that every time you have a cereal bag, you can save these things. And they actually make great bases for laying out breads,
Okay,
rolling out wheat.
right before you do that, I'm gonna just cut up the apples. Or no, I'll save the apples and cut them up after you do that.
Okay.
Because then otherwise they'll brown out.
Right. Well, you can do the apples first.
No, they can brown out on
Okay.
the outside. But
Now, I'm going to use this bag for the purpose. No, I'm not going to use it for cutting out pasta or making a pie shell or anything, but you can. You can cut this open and have it as a pie shell. But I'm going to throw some walnuts in here and use a mallet, and I'll show you how to easily break these walnuts up for your stuffing.
I already explained that it's good to have them broken up so that you get a walnut taste throughout, not a big bite of walnut. But
Go ahead and just pour it in there, sir.
I'll bring it over.
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you think would be good with stuffing. I know you love walnuts. About a cup's worth? Yeah, about
Yeah,
that.
this is about a cup and a half.
Cup and a half.
Maybe 2 cups.
Okay, now that celery and onions, I'm going to turn off now to let it sit. I got it up to a high temperature, and then I'm just going to let
You
it
want
sit.
to stir it?
Nope. I'll leave the top on and just let it sit. And what happens is the sausage flavors go down into they just kind of like imbue it. It's like a fusion cooking. So you don't open the top. You don't move anything around. You just turn it up to a level 3. Get it really, really hot, steaming. Not to the point where it's burning, but then you turn everything off and just let it set. Now, thank you for doing that. So this is a bag we can use for the mallet procedure. So you just take it, close it down like this with a mallet, and like this. Now this is not like wax. The old days they had wax paper, and this is not wax. There's no wax. This is strictly plastic, so it's not breaking plastic into your food. And you can also use regular baggies, you know.
Ziploc bags work great.
Yeah.
So
You want to do that for a bit? Yeah. Very good. Wow, look at that. Oh man, he's really whacking it.
great way
This is
to get out
amazing.
aggression.
Wow. Aggression, yeah, you got aggression. It's a great way to
I'm
deal with
just
it.
kidding, I don't.
No, I know you don't, but she's going to throw the walnuts in on the stuffing right now. There you go. Beautiful.
There are some bigger pieces, but that's okay.
Now the stuffing is going to require a binder, and because we've got a whole bowl full of, I'm going to use 3 eggs on this, I think, to keep it all nice and tight.
I might even need more because once I get the apples and stuff in here,
That's true, yeah, you got apples going
that might
there.
be 4 eggs.
Oh, I think we got a breakout for another container of stuffing today. Wow, that's going to be great.
Well, we gotta stuff the whole turkey in.
Well, I know, but I'm still, I think we have enough for 2 of these.
Yeah.
So we make these Pyrex containers. They're fantastic. We've had these in my family for 50 years practically.
Now,
Since the 60s, I think we bought these things. They're indestructible.
I love this. This is the thing I grew up with. This,
Oh yeah,
apple core.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love this little apple core.
Yeah. So
And it says U.S. Washington apples, the world's finest. That's what it says. U.S. Washington.
there you go.
apples.
U.S. Washington apples. That's what it
World's
says right on there.
finest. Yep.
That's an actual Washington State core from local. It's a local antique because we've had that in our family since the 1950s. Actually, I grew up in the 60s. I was born in 1960, so I've got an amazing collection of spices I'm looking at too from my family's history.
I grew up in Riverside. And
Oh,
there's
yeah.
just something that they would have at the Riverside. We had orange festivals because there's so many orange trees out there.
Oh yeah.
And there's this really cool thing called an orange peeler.
and it has like it's almost like a crochet needle.
Mhm.
It has like a little hook on it, and you just put it on your orange, and it just peels right into
Oh,
your
wow.
orange. It's
That's so cool.
I don't have one anymore, but
Well, we're thinking of actually, with all the apples up here, we're thinking of getting one of those peelers. You put the apple in and it just peels it for you. You just kind of rotate it.
You rotate it.
Yeah.
But it peels and cores at the same time.
Yeah, we might want to consider getting one of those because you had a lot of peeling you did there. You've been working harder than me, Sarah, that's for sure. Everyone's saying, Dave, aren't you going to do anything? Well, I'm actually taking the day off. Just,
He does all the cooking on the other Thursdays, so.
Yeah.
And other people will say, see, David, when Sarah cooks, then it's not. Cooks more. No.
They like watching you cook, yeah.
All right, so I got all of my apples cored. I'll throw the cores out. Sometimes I like to bite around the core.
That's a sweet apple. Yum. And of course, compost. I'll eat around those. I use every little piece of the apple. All right, so these are obviously, the chunks are a little too big to put in your stuffing, so we gotta now cut them down a little bit more. I know some people, when they do apple pies, they do like julienne, or I've seen some people take these cores and they'll go almost to the bottom, or like halfway or 3/4, and they'll lift it back up and then they'll turn it and then go down, and that's another way to like get thinner apples for apple pies or things like this.
Interesting. I've never seen that done. Wow. We have quite the breadbasket of America here in Washington because we've got people organic farming on the island. We've got all kinds of tilth organizations that worked with the soil, and they even put out a book telling people when to plant things. I mean, they're really into it. And I know around the world, people are canning from their gardens. I know in Eastern Europe, this is very common, and people live through their winter on canned food. It's still going on. So sustainability is really a big part of how people are surviving this global economic collapse, if you will.
So I went to a sustainability workshop a few days ago, and they say that the definition of sustainability is providing for the needs of the present without compromising the needs of the future.
Very good. I like that. Providing for the needs of the present without compromising the needs of the future. So instead of living for tomorrow, living for today with tomorrow's funds, you just make do with what you have. You don't overspend. You stay within your budget, and without the credit card economy, which has put us in this position, we all have to learn to conserve. And I think for us, Sarah and I, we've been debt free for since we met.
These chunks of apples, I feel like they're perfect because they'll cook down.
Oh, they're perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect size she's cutting. But in this,
too small, they'll just be mush.
Absolutely, yeah. Give a little texture, a little size gives you more texture. And remember, that's going to be 4 hours at 250 or 300 degrees. You have to cook at least 250 degrees for 4 hours.
Actually, did they say 325?
I think they say 325 now because they really want to make sure people don't get.
You want to make sure you don't get salmonella.
Yeah. So maybe 300 for 4 hours, your typical turkey, just to throw that number out there.
You can Google it.
I can, but I know from cooking about 50 turkeys in my life that this is what we do. Having cooked 50 turkeys, I feel,
Well, the internet's probably cooked 1,000.
Well, I'm sure I've made 50 turkeys because we usually make it Christmas, and I used to make Christmas and Thanksgiving turkey dinners. We didn't really, as a family, get into ham as much.
I do not like ham.
I know.
That's one thing about me. I don't like ham.
Yep.
I like Mexican food. I like Thai food.
Yeah. It's crazy how a ham, too, is a product that can have a lot of preservatives in it. And I don't know, you have to get it really good.
I used to be okay with it because I didn't eat it there very much. But Just, yeah.
Well, the Muslims and Jews do not eat ham, and they won't eat any pork, which is fine. Ironically, they're on the same page with that, so there's not that many big differences between the two cultures and religions based on that simple precautions that they followed from biblical times. Now, there's probably a good reason not to eat pork. We're having nothing but turkey kielbasa today, so uncured.
Oh, turkey, cool.
Yeah, there's no pork in this dish, no. I don't believe in, mixing. If we're going to cook turkey, you might as well get turkey kielbasa or something turkey-based. But if you can cook with pork, you certainly can do that. Okay, now before you thoroughly mix it, that's a good start. We're going to throw this.
God, I think I need this bowl. I'm like, this is just so much. I really went to town and made extra dressing.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did. I really am.
But I know it's David's favorite, so.
Well, everybody seems to want dressing at the dinner times. Like, would you like some more dressing? Oh yeah. Bring it on.
Everyone being.
No, everybody.
In my family, it's
What?
between the two of us, you like dressing more.
Oh, do I? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I don't mind it, but it's not my favorite. The first. It's not like my go-to for the leftovers.
Right.
But I know how much you like it, so.
Well, then I guess I am the one person that we're cooking the dressing for us. So I don't want to. I'm going to take a handful of sage and just crush it on top like this.
What did I just do? Okay. I think I should either put half of it in here or put the whole thing in here.
I think you can put the whole thing in there.
Because I think this bowl I thought was going to be big enough, but it's not.
Yep, that'll work. She's putting it in there. Cool. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah, it should be a good year. Assuming Trump remains calm. He's doing a pretty good job. I actually complimented him yesterday. I said, he's doing a pretty good job of holding it together, and I think it's actually impressive. A lot of stress, that job, and he's certainly in the middle of it. So I'm softening my approach to Trump the longer Mueller is taking to do anything, because I really think that in Trump's world, he really cares about the country in his mind. I think he really, he's just kind of a greedy guy, and I think that can cloud judgment sometimes. That's my argument to the American people. We're not going to stop Trump from being greedy. That's the reality. He just is. And some of you are. But it's not the future for America, in my opinion. We have to be a little bit much more concerned about less credit, less borrowing, because he's borrowed to the hilt, and more sustainability.
This
Okay.
and the eggs.
Yep. I'm going to get the eggs out, and I'll pre-mix them in a bowl.
Or do you have to?
I'll do that.
You got it.
I just don't want any stems in there. Yeah, they're up on the top right if you want to grab that. Okay, yeah, bring out the whole thing. We've got some really good Simple Truth, cage-free, grain-fed eggs today. Trying to buy grain cage-free if we can. But no, I noticed that these are not non-GMO. Somebody's going to say, are these non-GMO? No, they are not. Normally we get those, but I picked up this for $2 on sale, $2.50. So I thought, well, that's a pretty good
Some
job.
of the label's Simple Truth, and that he thought that was the.
It was one mean labeling, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let me open these up.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just slowly cooking away, which is great. Oh, David does a great job here. I'll take.
Oh, almost. I did have one.
Oh, you're out. I'll do the rest. No,
No,
I'm just
I
kidding.
think you should, actually. That was not a good rake.
Okay. I was like, wow, look at David doing it with one hand.
Yeah, I thought it was being cool. I was like, Dave, yeah, you're really good. But no, I had like 3 little shells in there.
Okay, I'll do it.
That's not exactly what I need, no. Okay, Sarah's going to try to crack some eggs now. This should be interesting.
This should be interesting. Sarah's good to try to crack some
She
eggs.
doesn't normally do this, so. Oh, there you go.
I didn't do a very good job, but.
Cool. That's better than my job. That's an improvement. I like this Go mic, the Samson Go mic that we bought. It's a good little mic for an additional computer. It has a pretty good ambient sound. It's a condenser mic, and it's pretty good. So you think 3? Maybe we should, with that size, I think we should go for 4 eggs.
I definitely think we should do 4.
Okay. Sarah has decided 4 is the number.
I just did more and more and more, so.
Cool. There it is. You're getting better. That's awesome. And I guess a little fork.
Yolks.
Yep, that's no yolk. That's no yolk. I'm not yoking around here. Yeah, just take a little fork. I'll throw the shells away.
Well, the thing is, I get like these eggs because like I don't break the yolk because when I make my waffles, I want the egg whites, and then I use the egg whites to make stiff peaks and all.
Yeah.
That.
Oh yeah. Incredible. Excellent.
And I know I'm not a big egg, everybody knows I'm not a big egg fan, like just omelets and stuff, but
Yeah. Everyone knows she does not like eggs, but when you put it in
but
all
when
of
you're
this.
when it's in a baking item, you can't make stuffing without eggs.
No. Now what I do is I put the, there's a stage here, so you're almost done there. I'm going to go ahead and put all the onions that have been sauteing and the celery that's been sauteing on the stove.
And before you do the eggs, right?
Mhm.
Right now?
Yeah, I'm going to put it right on top of the...
Here, let me move this and then we'll do...
That's fine.
a
It's nice and hot, so it's going to mix in with the hot. And then after I put that in, you can pour the... I'm going to pour the broth now on top. So this is all the broth.
You could save a little bit for gravy.
Save a little bit for gravy. And then throw the eggs in.
I wonder if the, like, some people
Go ahead.
say David's cooking. This is like David, maybe that's one of the reasons David loves stuffing so much, because it's like, put everything together and bake it.
Well, that's what stuffing is, but you have to pre-cook certain items for sure, and you need that broth too. And that turkey broth is really essential to the taste of your stuffing, because not all of it's going to be cooking in the stuffings. Not all of it's going to be in the broth itself. So, yeah. And what I do is, I'll leave this on the stove, and I'll add more water to it. You put a little bit more water in there. Does that look moist and also fluffy? Good. I think she's ready. You're done. Now we can actually fill the bird. I'm going to move the bird into the other container. Into here. I'm going to put it over here.
Oh, yeah, or you could just put them on here.
Okay. I'll put the bird right on the counter.
There we go.
There you go.
Perfect.
Right on. So that is a beautiful turkey. Now that plastic they put in there is oven ready. It'll resist oven temperatures. But I like to pull it out. So it's one of those things that's like, do I really need this? And then the question is, well, how easy is it to pull out, Dave?
Yeah, Dave.
And how do you get it out of there? So it's like, you need hand strength. Look at that thing.
Is there another one back here or something?
No, that's the only one. But that is really industrial plastic. And
Oh, I was wondering what that is in there. It's the sage.
yeah, I just threw some sage in there to kind of rub it in.
Okay.
We also have some fresh garlic we're going to put in here. But today I'm going to use a garlic rub of crushed garlic. Now I normally inject garlic into the turkey.
We didn't put any garlic in our stuffing.
No, but I've got this chopped garlic.
You want me to put in some garlic before I rub some in?
No, I think you could just put like a tablespoon of this crushed garlic into.
Like I was saying, put it on the meat on the inside now.
Well, if you want, you really don't need to. It just on the outside glaze.
So I just grab it with a spoon, right? Then.
Yeah, normally I would inject turkey, but today we're going to go low impact. We're not going to put garlic in the turkey.
Just on this.
We're just going to kind of glaze it with crushed garlic that we got from California. And this California garlic is different than I actually met some of these farmers that grow this. Really good quality, better than the Chinese garlic, I have to say. And we got a container like this for $5.99 at Costco, which is an amazing deal, really, for all this garlic. It's like you can't lose. Yeah, whatever you want to do. Let's put a tablespoon of garlic on the top. So when you're done, we'll just let the garlic smell,
Well, that's what I was asking. Do you want me to just use my hand and rub it inside?
No, because your hat will smell like garlic forever and ever.
Oh, that's okay.
No, it's not. Believe me.
Well, I could get a plastic glove.
How about a spoon? Let's just throw the spoon idea out there.
Okay.
She's going to put a spoon of this crushed garlic in there. We got this from here.
I'm trying to put it on like the breast.
Yeah. We'll put the turkey cam on the subject. There you go. So we're just kind of adding it, and we're going to take that same spoon later. Just set it right on the garlic, or right down there.
I'm going to do that because it's touching raw meat.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, poultry. We're going to put some of that garlic on top of the turkey as a rub before we put our outer glazes of sage. And you don't have to salt these. These turkeys have plenty of salt in them.
Plenty of salt.
They have, and the salt will end up in the gravy when you get done with the renderings.
No added salt needed.
Yeah.
I will save a lot of people from heart attacks by not adding salt.
Yeah. I'm going to add more water to the turkey, and I'm going to continue cooking at level 3. The turkey
The
giblets,
necks and giblets.
the neck and giblets need to be cooked at level 3 for a long, long time. Probably about an hour. But that's a perfect stuffing. I love it. You're doing a great job. And I think I will be able to use these 2 containers too for compost the cores. Yeah, this is, and when you mix the apple with the turkey sausage and the walnuts, the mouth-watering experience is like amazing. People just love stuffing, and I grew up with it.
And we know the people he means. I love
Yeah,
he loves
I'm the one
stuffing.
eating. I'm the person who people represent. Yeah, I represent the people.
He's a person that loves stuffing.
I'm a people person, so.
So now, anytime David says people love, I'll know he means Sarah. I love.
Yeah, when I speak for people, I speak for myself. I usually I share the views of other people. I really do, and I know it's presumptuous of me to think that other people like stuffing, but I think we could turn the whole day into a stuffing discussion.
Yeah, because you love it.
Now, if you are in England and you are watching this show and you are asking yourself, what is he saying? Stuffing. Well, apparently, if you say you're stuffed in England, they think it's a sex term. So they think it's some sort of a sex thing. Yeah, so you can't say the word stuffed in England unless if you say, oh, I'm stuffed after a meal.
I should have done
They're
the
like,
backside
oh my
first,
gosh, they
shouldn't I?
just had sex. What?
I should have done the backside first.
Nope, you're good.
Okay, can I flip it or what do I do?
No, just leave it.
No, I have to do the backside.
Oh, well, what you do is like lift it up. Let me kind of tip it up this way. Let's suture this one first. We're going to start with the sutures. And I will pull out
It's like surgery.
the sutures from a turkey bag from our 50 turkeys I've made. We got a couple of these things here. They're little metal rods.
Where do people get those? Like, because I've only seen if you have them, but like, where do you buy those?
You might find them at the dollar store. You know?
Really?
Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff at the dollar store that most people don't realize. The dollar store actually has a great kitchen appliance or kitchen utensil section.
Or like a kitchen outlet or something?
No, I think the dollar store. It's one of those things a lot of cooks use. So I'm going to have you do that.
Okay.
And she'll show you how to.
I'll try. This is my first time suturing. Okay, so the idea is that you want to make it like cave it together, right?
Yeah, and then hook at the other end and then spin it. Once you get through the other end, kind of give it a little spin.
Just spin.
Yeah, like kind of poke it. There you go. And then poke down on it. Like jab it.
Okay.
Go vertical into it. So yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, so that might need one more on this side.
Yeah.
And the other suture will be used for the other side.
I think you.
I think I jumped out of bed a little too soon, didn't I?
Oh, poor David.
Oh, poor David.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Wow, it's beautiful. We're getting a not rainy day. We were expecting rain today, but luckily it's been mild. We're getting kind of an in-between rain and clouds today.
Oh no, I did not do that well.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do it again just to get a better bite on it. There you go, and then go down with it. There you go. Now it sutures it into place. Kind of jab in there.
Okay. That's like a bone.
Yeah, go right into the soft space.
Which is soft space.
I'll do it.
I think that's good.
Yeah, but you gotta actually get it into the soft. There you go. See. So there it's nice tight. It's got a bib. So now you can lift it up.
Now you can lift it up. Okay, but I thought you could do it like.
Any way you want to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna flip it.
Okay, she's gonna flip it, everybody.
And the reason I'm flipping it is it's actually good to cook it, in my opinion. And I know I'm not an expert chef like David.
I'm not
But
an expert
in my
chef.
opinion,
not
it's
true.
good to cook it breast down because then all the juices are pouring into
Totally.
the breast meat,
Yep.
and then you get the tender, juicy breast. And then you flip it over like the last hour when you put the pie in the oven. Then you flip it back over.
Yep.
That's my opinion. Is
Now,
that a good opinion?
yeah, I agree. I think the opinion is good.
Ooh, look at that. Yeah, that was hot water was still inside.
Now, do not cook with bay leaves. Never ever cook with bay leaves because bay leaves are toxic. And even if you're this does not require bay leaves. It requires sage.
This is not working well for me. I'm not doing a very good job here.
Well, you're close enough. Just kind of stuff it in there. Yeah, I think you're good.
I can do one more.
One more scoop, maybe? Okay, let me hold it out for you. Yeah, you got a pretty good throttle on that neck there. We're holding the neck open.
That's the problem. I think I'm getting too much and then I'm not able to bring it over.
You're good.
There we go.
One more scoopy whoopy. Like a half scoop. Okay, I think you're good. And then we'll take that last skewer and go around the top. Right here.
Okay, here I can do it.
Kind of.
Because I've got to get a bunch of different skin pieces.
Yeah, she's going to go through a couple layers here to kind of skewer it into the top. Without jabbing herself, that's the secret.
It's kind of like piercing ears.
Yeah. There you go. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh, see, she's got the hang of it perfectly. So she's going for the total suture job at the top. Now this looks like a pretty tender turkey. I've been just checking it out. It's like it looks fresh and tender, not like sinewy. So I'm going to assume this turkey had a wonderful life and enjoyed running around the yard gobbling.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
I'm just thinking gobble 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 gobble. I'm hearing this echoes of the turkey's life, and I'm thinking, wow,
know.
gave its life for us to eat dinner.
I
That's so
forgot
nice.
to-
Thank you, turkey.
I'm gonna get a new spoon, not use the spoon that I had before, but now I'm gonna get a new spoon into the garlic thing
Okay.
on the outside.
Sounds good.
I like garlic, so I put a big spoon of it.
Yeah.
Couple. Alright, and maybe one more. Because I'm gonna like basically rub it all over.
Rub it all over.
Rub it all over. Alright.
Oh, you're gonna use your hands? Okay. Well, there's a trick we can show you after that, so you don't smell like garlic. Well, just actually taking any stainless steel item and rubbing your hands with the stainless steel item under water, under cold water, will actually get rid of any garlic smell you may have on your hands. So you're sure doing a great job. And you're breast side down already, right?
Yeah, I should lift them over.
No, that's perfect. That garlic will go down to the bottom of the breast. It kind of rotates as it goes. You can see my hand there. Yeah, I had an injury this past week. I didn't want to really make a big issue of it, but
That's why Sarah's doing all the cooking.
yeah, Sarah's doing all the cooking because I injured my hand with a burn. I actually grabbed a plate that I didn't know was hot, and I had a little burn on my hand. It's a big burn, actually. It's my thumb got nailed, and I'm just kind of taking care of it. I wrapped it with a bandage, so it's got a blister on it, and I'm just taking it easy with it.
Start
But-
the oven.
Yeah, we can start the oven. That's good.
I think it should just be at 350.
Yeah, 350 is fine. So I'm taking it real easy, and as with all burns, you don't really know how bad it is until it fully, develops. So, and I was like, Sarah, I think I burned my hand.
On. Okay. Should be on.
Is it on?
Yeah, but I'm gonna take these out.
Yeah. I said, I think I burned my hand, and she's like, wow, and it didn't realize, wow, it's a huge blister. It's like, wow. And you don't realize how hot ceramics can be when you're touching them out of an oven. I made the mistake of grabbing a plate.
Instead of doing those two, should I just do a big pan like this as stuffing?
No, this works so much better. And this is portable, then you don't have to worry about storing it.
Okay.
They're all self-enclosed.
Do I need to put some oil down first?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll take a little spray.
Okay, I need a spray bottle because the spray bottle I used, so.
It's all gone. Okay, I'll fill the spray
Well,
bottle.
because I was using some oil last
Yeah.
night and I didn't open the new oil container.
Okay.
And on and on and on.
So it's kind of a low impact day for me. I'm trying to minimize my use of my hands so I don't have to. Because when you see a blister form from a burn, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
it's like, whoa,
It's been
I can't
talking.
believe. Must have been 700 degrees.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 200. And I had no idea. So in a way, this is a real sobering lesson because after all the fires that have happened, I really feel the pain of fire and heat right now, but not like they did. I mean, these people burned in their cars and in their houses, and it's just a horrific scene of carnage that no one can even compare and talk about.
So this doesn't totally close on it, but I think that's fine.
That's fine, yeah. But the nice thing about this this burn is it really it's a constant reminder that our bodies are very fragile. And even something like a ceramic plate can just burn the hell out of your hand. Can you imagine what, the fires did to these people? It was just horrible. So yeah. Makes you really wonder about safety. And I'll tell you, I will never ever grab a plate with my hand without a glove on it ever again.
Don't put a plate in a toaster oven.
There you go. Yeah, plates and toaster ovens created such a ceramic heat. I swear it must have been 700 degrees because it was only like 2 seconds I had my finger on it, and it just completely burned into my hand. It must have been 700 degrees.
Is this good enough?
It heats up on its own, Yeah, that has to cook for a little longer.
Okay.
But no, just take this and spray the. Let's see if something's coming out. There you go. So she's spraying the glass right now, so that when we put the stuffing in there, it won't stick, which is good. So let me tell you the process of this burn. It's like my hand was throbbing the whole night, for at least, the whole night. I mean, I could barely get any sleep the first night. And the second night I got some sleep, but I had to hold my hand up on a pillow and just kind of, because there's a blister about half an inch big.
It's a huge blister.
It's a huge blister. So I'm just like, whoa.
Poor David.
And I'm going, I had no idea I did that to my hand. So I'll be very careful never to touch a hot ceramic plate ever again. But it really makes me wonder about what happened during this fire down in California. And as you know, I'm very concerned that something nefarious is going on. Not just like a wildfire per se, not just explained with a Puget Sound cross of wires. And I've heard testimony after testimony that this is a really it's an unusual event. It doesn't look like anything they've seen before, which makes me wonder: are they doing an arson investigation? How far along are they? Are they including the possibilities that artificial means accelerants were used in this situation? So that's what I keep asking. All right. Yeah, it looks very suspicious, these fires. Thank you, Sarah, for doing all the hard work.
You're welcome.
Will we have enough room for all that?
Yeah.
Cool.
No, I just put the turkey in the oven. I only did that because I figured, what's the difference? Even though I didn't preheat the oven. Like, what's the difference between the turkey sitting on a counter while I'm waiting for it to preheat?
True.
Versus sitting in an oven.
True.
So
True.
I just went ahead and put it in the oven.
Yeah.
Now I'm actually going to add a little bit of oil to the top of this. Just so when it was like cooking.
Okay, we've got my Corelware from the 1970s. We're going to use that for the bean dish. That's going to be good. But Sarah's going to load everything into the oven. Yeah. I think I'll top off the stuffing a little bit with just a slight amount of
Sage, yeah.
yeah, and I didn't get a chance to. You put the turkey in the oven already, so I didn't get a chance to dust it with some
Oh,
sage.
do you want me? I can take it out.
Yeah, if you could. I know that you put it in there. I didn't see you putting it in there so quick, but if you could just take it out again, yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Because I want to get sage on the outside of that.
I don't know where your other oven mitt is.
The red one, I don't know either. I don't want you to burn yourself, that's for sure.
I'm not going to burn myself. I just put it in and it's not even preheated. So.
You know, the reason why I want to put the sage on this is because it does add to the flavoring.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. We're shooting for a start time of 12 o'clock and a 4-hour burn at 350. So what I'm doing is taking my hand and just going like this.
How long would the stuffings cook?
Stuffing would cook generally about an hour and a half max. So you could put the extra stuffing in about an hour of cooking, an hour and a half of cooking, put like halfway through the stage.
Or since David loves stuffing, we can cook it at the same time, put it in early, and then David could have, you know how you always want a snack an hour before dinner's ready?
I
and
always
David
do.
could
I
have,
didn't know that.
Could have
You really?
stuffing.
You're saying I eat snacks an hour before every meal?
No,
I normally
only
don't
on
do that.
Thanksgiving. I do. On Thanksgiving, I do.
I suppose, but I mean,
I do.
I've seen some relatives of yours that actually grabbed the turkey that I was cooking and grabbed a piece of meat off the turkey before we could even deliver it to the table. So, yeah.
Well, that's my family. I like to eat before I have turkey dinner.
Gotcha. I guess everybody's gonna, get in on that.
Yeah, it's difficult to wait for 4 hours
It
to
is.
eat something.
It's called patience, I guess. And not many people have it when it comes to food. Now you have patience, but I mean, not many people have it when it comes to food and waiting around. I understand.
No, that's why most people have like chips and dips and
Yeah.
vegetable trays and things like that.
Right.
Fruit, different things to eat throughout the day while they're waiting for the turkey.
Yeah. So.
Okay, should I put it in?
Yes,
or wait
definitely.
till
You can put it in now. That's fine.
Is it on?
No.
Nice. Ah, he didn't even.
All right, we're on now. Go ahead and put it in. There we go.
Never mind. That's what I do. Because I don't do very much baking.
Yeah. All right. I am going to.
Should I do these with foil or no?
No, you don't need to cover them with foil. If you want to cook, you just have to make sure you get them out in an hour and a half.
Okay, I'll set the timer.
Okay. No, today we're going to be making the traditional French green bean dish. And Sarah bought some onions, I believe. There you did. Crispy onions. Oh, I see you've already gotten into some of these. That's kind of cool. Non-GMO.
That's what I snack on the
Yeah.
hour before dinner.
These are non-GMO onions that are purchased at the Costco company that we shop at, which is a pretty affordable way of buying things in bulk, I guess. And we've got that big, huge Corelware. I'm going to bring that over there. That should be enough for this entire dish. And what do you usually normally put the French beans down first, right?
Well, first I need to chop up the mushrooms.
Oh, right. Yeah, let me get those for you.
And before I even do that, I'm gonna pre-wash my. I'm gonna wash my board again. Okay. Okay. Yes, I do love these crispy onions. I just eat them by the handful, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should I do all the mushrooms? Should I
Yes,
save
all
a
of
few?
them, for sure, all of them.
Okay. Did you said earlier you wanted a cup of coffee. I don't think you ever got it.
Yeah, I have it in the other room. I'm just kind of slowly getting it. I have to make coffee with the curry, so I'm just going to do that.
Okay.
But right now, I'm not going to bother. I'm good. I'm just nursing my cold coffee. I'm having some iced coffee.
Iced coffee is sometimes good. Or when I used to drink coffee.
So a lot of you have kind of a home life where you don't have a turkey, and we realize that a lot of people are not eating turkey dinners tonight. And hopefully you got turkey sandwich meat. I think that would be a kind of a festive thing to eat.
Yeah.
Some people buy turkey sandwich meat, make big, huge, deluxe, sandwiches with turkey on it. So that's one option. Not everybody has the luxury of a turkey dinner. We have an Elks Club in our area that puts out an amazing free turkey dinner for homeless people.
Or the community, people that don't want to cook.
Or people that just don't want to cook. Yeah, they get a large group of people over there, like hundreds.
Like seniors and things like that.
Yep. They are very, very interested in that free meal too. Believe me, free works in this town. People love it.
I think free works in any town.
I know. It seems like, because we have a pork fest, a free pork fest, people love to go to.
Well, it's a fundraiser. You can donate whatever you choose.
We do donate.
Donate, and it's a fundraiser for the homeless.
The homeless people. Yeah. And again, the growing population of homeless has not been addressed by Trump or Obama. And it's pathetic because we got great ideas like our mobile service unit idea, and as well as the idea of getting people mailing addresses. A lot of homeless people don't have mailing addresses.
So we're gonna do 2 cans of these, right?
Yep, both
So
cans.
I think what I'll do is I'll start with 1 can as like a base,
Okay,
and
I'll set that down.
and then
Get some leverage. All right.
I'll do 1 can as a base.
Okay.
I'm gonna drain out the,
Yeah, just drain it out.
and then
And take it and rinse it out too, because it's kind of salty. Let's give it a rinse.
rotate
Here, I'll do
this.
that. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take, we'll show you how we rinse the cans out. Sometimes when there's salt inside the can, you lower your salt content on your meal when you do this. It's a little trick you can use. Just give it a little shake.
Especially another way to reduce heart attacks.
Yeah.
Lower your salt.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, so keeping, there's a lot of salt in turkey dinners and in the crispy onions. That's salty.
We want a tasty meal. We don't want a meal where, people have.
Well, this is 700 per cup.
Oops.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, it's like, it's huge, but we're still going to do the broccoli cheese soup because Sarah loves this stuff.
Well, I can, I don't know.
Broccoli chip, no, we're going to do it. I'm very concerned about MSG, so any kind of a thickening soup, creamy soup you can use in this dish. We're going to go with this concept. Sounds good to me. I'm all for it. Now, cutting mushrooms is pretty interesting. I'll take that and rinse it out. The nice thing about this dinner, it's become such a favorite in America because people really like the ease of making it. It's not that difficult. Even if you don't have any fresh mushrooms, you can use
Like
mushroom
canned
soup
mushroom
or canned mushrooms. Yeah. So that's a good thing. Okay, and Sarah's going to cut some of those mushrooms, slice them in there. I guess it's kind of a layering process, so you can layer.
I'm gonna do it like a lasagna anyway.
Cool.
For layers, yeah.
Yeah, right on. It's just basically moving ingredients from one area to another. You don't have to do the fresh mushrooms, but it does make a difference. It really tastes good. Right on. Do you want to let Sarah talk? I'll be back.
Okay. So I'm just gonna layer in our beautiful mushrooms. I was thinking I should pour in some of the soup too right now, but I'll do that in a minute. Just doing the full stem. I personally prefer to cut slowly. Just to make sure that I don't have any cuts or anything. So sometimes I cut a little slower than other people. And then that's like, oh, I'm not making the dinner fast enough. Where's Chef Ramsay? But that's okay. This isn't a restaurant. This is my own. You have to enjoy what you're doing too. And that's the thing, is making your meal with love. So making sure that getting plenty of love in there, doing it with love. They always say that's the secret ingredient with cooking. You've got to have a good feeling when you cook or bake. The ingredients come together well. I think it's because you're better able to concentrate and all of that good stuff. Good. I like this idea of doing it as like a layering process, because then you can just dig down into it. Get it nice. Get something nice going. All right. So Thanksgiving traditions. Yes. Well, I have a big family, and I guess a somewhat impatient family. I'm very patient. I wouldn't say my brothers and sisters are super patient, but maybe they have grown more patient over the years. Anyway, that's why I was telling David that, yeah, we do like to, it's always good idea to have like snack food or things around for people to eat while you're working on baking. I'm sure some of you are probably watching football right now. I'm not a big football fan, sorry. I am what I am. Some people say you don't need to apologize for being who you are. So there you go. All right, I'm gonna pour some of this cream of broccoli soup in there. This'll be it. It'll be different. My hands are wet. Then when they're wet, I can't open anything like I normally do. They're a little wet and a little cold from touching the cold mushrooms that have been sitting in the refrigerator. There we go. Starting to peel up. Just peeling up this plastic. I know, I don't really like it. Oh, that looks so good. Yummy. All right, let's put that in here. Chunks of broccoli. There we go. That looks really good. Now, some people put in, like, you could do the French's onions, but since David says the cream of mushroom soup already has a lot of salt in it, the sodium in here is not bad. 15 milligrams in, 1.5 tablespoons. All right, so another trick, I'm gonna get another fresh onion. Or should I?
Yes, it's entirely up to you. If you want, you can throw the onion
Well, I was gonna do like mixed in some
slightly.
fresh sliced onions.
I really think you could just go with the onion topper.
Okay.
But if you want to put onions in there, you can.
Well, I don't really want to. I already have enough onions in the.
Yeah, I think the crispy onion has such a great taste that, why you put fresh onions in. That kind of a caramelized taste that, people like from the onion. I think those crispy onions they are super tasty. I know a lot of people have loved this dish. It's a tradition in America, the bean dish. Mushroom bean casserole with onions on the top. If you use fresh onions, you'd probably want to caramelize them in a pan with butter.
Yeah, that's true. I do
So-
love butter.
If you really want to, I don't think it's needed. I think the soup alone has onions in it. That's going to kind of push in the
The
flavors.
soup does have onions in it,
Well, most soup does.
But this soup doesn't.
Okay, let me check the label.
That's just done. Leave it.
Yeah, leave it.
but I don't think it's needed either.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I don't think onions are needed.
Oh, my stomach's rumbling. I haven't had my
because
banana.
you're hungry.
Well, I think I'll eat an avocado.
Yes, do that.
My favorite food item. Thank you. So we get these little mini tiny avocados. I buy a bag of like 8 of these things for about $3 here. And they are really good for you. Avocado is a superfood. And if you wanted to make an avocado dip for everybody, that's one option. For people eating at, serving tortilla chips with avocado dip is one of my favorites. Put a little non-fat yogurt or sour cream in there. Non-fat sour cream kind of lowers the calorie intake, but the superfood. Let me grab a spoon under here. Yeah, this is an extended show, so we're gonna probably wrap things up. We'll get everything in the oven for you probably in the next 10 minutes. And
Oh, really? I still have potatoes to do.
you're making potatoes? Really? Well, if you want, we've got yams. What about a candied yam dish?
Oh, do you have yams?
Yeah, I bought 2 containers of yams. Let's do that.
Okay.
'Cause that's easy.
Alright. If
I
I'm
prepare
so
for this stuff,
slow at cutting mushrooms.
but I think this is enough starch right here. Bruce's
I
yam.
actually, I appreciate that, David.
You're welcome.
I love that better than how I am with potatoes.
Yeah, it's just sugar, no corn syrup. Because you want to avoid corn syrup. Anytime you get corn syrup, you're going to get GMO corn syrup in a lot of these products. So, yams, Bruce's yams.
Remember that year? I wonder if I have those. That year I did yams with apricots and I did orange juice. But
Oh yeah, that was good.
yeah,
I remember that.
really good.
That was really tasty. Yeah, avocado is really good. It gives you enough energy, and I've been eating avocados because a lot of men my age are getting male pattern baldness, and I'm holding on to my hair this way, and I really can tell a difference. I'm not kidding. I'm even using avocado shampoo from Garnier, and that's actually helping too. So. Some people think I'm a robot.
Well, you're my robot.
You're my robot.
You're my digital audio video entity.
I am your digital audio video entity,
I
Sarah.
think everybody who watches your show can say that because you are you're there digitally, you're on audio, you're showing video.
I am kind of a digital audio video entity. It's true.
I know, you're Dave.
I am Dave. I started making videotape, audio video work in 1971, which really dates me.
Can you find a container for the yam dish?
Yeah, sure. What up?
Okay, this is beautiful.
You betcha. I've got another glass container. I'm going to pre-rinse because I don't want any soap scum from the dishwasher on there. You know, I like the fact that, you know, we have dishwashers and all that, but really, you know, you don't know how much toxicity is coming from detergents. So I always pre-rinse my stuff whenever I put food in it.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Just to make sure, you know. Very good. Sarah's doing all the work here. Is this great? For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the best Thanksgiving ever. Turning out to be a really good Thanksgiving. I said to her, you know, with this blister I have, it's kind of a bad Thanksgiving, but with her doing all the work, it's great. I'm enjoying it. Thank you. I can just sit and talk to myself, which I do every night, which makes me feel good.
Yeah, and you don't have to read chat, so you don't have, I mean, you'll respond to chat later. If you see text in the chat room, that's David responding, obviously.
Yeah.
But, because I'll be eating. But yeah, you don't have to respond live to chat, and that's nice, because you don't have to, like, tell people, my hair is fine!
Yeah.
Or whatever. Okay, I'm going to leave that, and I'll do the onions right before we put it in the oven, because otherwise what will happen is they'll sit in the soup and they'll soak up the moisture and they won't be crispy anymore.
Wow. I think you're right, actually. And putting a little onions in the mix or just on top?
Oh, we're just doing the onions on the top.
Great. Onions just on the top, so you get your scoop of your onions right in the
So
top.
if you go down, it's layers. It's a can of green beans, a layer of mushroom, a can of green beans, a layer of mushroom, a can of green beans, layer of mushroom, and then soup.
Wow.
Can of green beans, layer of mushroom, and then soup.
Wow,
And then
perfect.
we'll put crispy onions all over the top. And you just scoop down into it.
Yeah, and that can go in the or that can go in the oven too, for the entire cycle. About
Really?
a half of the cycle. I'd say 2 hours.
It says pour mixture 30 minutes uncovered, and then 5 minutes more after you top with the remaining.
30 minutes uncovered. Well, that's I was thinking 2 hours. Wow.
No, it's just 30 minutes. It's a really quick thing.
So you're gonna wait on putting those in the oven
Yeah,
later?
that's going to
Okay.
be on the side or in the refrigerator.
So she'll have that stuffing out, so that I'll be porking out on stuffing
I know.
with my turkey kielbasa before the dinner because she thinks that I like to eat before the meal. So
Well, I like to eat before the meal, and I know there's
I know.
other people
other people
that like to eat before the meal,
That's true.
and so I'll be eating the stuffing if you're not.
Good. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now we're gonna get the yam ready, and I'm gonna just see. I do appreciate not doing yam and not doing potatoes and all that stuff.
I think the camera was almost on the floor, and I might have had a foot camera shot. I don't know.
Oh yes,
I have to worry about
I
that
just
foot
remembered.
camera.
Thank you. I'm sorry, foot camera. I didn't see any feet, and David, you should not worry about people seeing your feet because you have some of the most beautiful feet I've ever seen. So.
I know. Well, being I could be a foot model, I'm thinking I should monetize it. Maybe make my foot modeling career.
Okay, I'm gonna make a very cool.
I don't want to
yam
release
dish.
foot. If I release foot pictures, I could be a foot camera person. Think of the foot fetish people that would pay for that.
This is a quick yam dish, but it's gonna be so super tasty.
Okay, this is the quick ham dish that's super tasty. I can't wait.
Okay, so first we'll just use the canned yams like David has. Wait, did you say non-GMO?
No, it's not non-GMO.
Okay,
but it's
whatever.
yams.
It's yams.
I got a good deal,
It's
68
yams,
cents a
it's
can.
good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rinse this off.
All right, she's doing the ultra can. This is the ultra thing.
This is mine. David's not a big marshmallow fan, so.
I've never made this kind of stuff before. This is all hers. This is where your baking talents come in. And you've got baking talents. Believe me, you could be a professional baker, I think. She has a certain quality of baking capability that
Here's the flour.
she's very accurate with her measurements. So
Well, this is just throw it together, but.
I know,
thank you.
but traditionally when you do baking, you are very accurate.
Oops.
Whoopsie. Go ahead.
I lost a couple of yams.
We
there.
can't lose our yams.
Okay, so
Thank you.
we dumped out the water. We're gonna pour our yams in. And then what we're gonna do with both these cans. These yams are pre-cooked, so actually candied yams is yams, honey, butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, sugar, lots of sugar and butter, which I could do that, candied yams, but I'm gonna go for a low sugar kind of thing. Lower sugar or more natural sugar, because we're already having apple pie and that's lots of sugar. So my yam recipe is going to be yams, apricots, dried apricots, pineapple, and pecans. Here's my yams. This chunk's perfect. So then I have my pineapple. There we go. Dole
Yeah,
is
that's good
awesome.
stuff. That dole. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very good. And
I
then
love that product. It's good tasting. I like it. They do a good job.
dried apricots.
Oh, and you have dried apricots. Wow. This is like the ultimate.
Nothing but apricots. These are organic, non-GMO apricots. Usually I put these in water, but I'm just going to put them kind of at the bottom.
Okay. Do you want to rehydrate them or something?
Part of me does.
I think you might want to rehydrate them.
Okay, I'll just
put them in the microwave for a few minutes.
We'll chop them and put them in the microwave for a
Yeah,
few
just put them
minutes.
in that bowl with a little water, and then I'll put them in the microwave.
Instead of water, I'm going to use pineapple juice.
Oh, even better. That way they're not kind of like tough. You don't want them tough. You know?
Yeah, that's true, because otherwise they will be tough.
Then they'd be like hard nuggets in your mouth. They wouldn't be melting in your mouth.
Okay, so. Alright, let me get this stuff. Clean off the mushroom off my knife. Let me pre-rinse these too. I did this one year and it was so tasty. It
Cool.
was just delicious, so I'm gonna do it again.
I'm gonna go see if the Macy's parade is on in here.
Okay. I'm sure if it's not live, you can catch it in pre-recording, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna see if I can get it on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good to chop it up. It's gonna be really tasty. Wow, look at those. Those are fresh apricots.
Yeah.
California. It is a harvest fest type of thing, you know. I mean, it's so amazing how much bounty we have in this world, and not a lot of people have this bounty. And I realize we're very thankful to be in America.
Yes, I'm not a starving child in another country, and we're very thankful to have each other.
Yeah, I mean, I played this this video that's actually banned on YouTube last night. Ed, the Burroughs Thanksgiving message, and he was a homosexual man who was very, very negative about America at the time, and he talked about hypocrisy that was happening in our country. And if you linger in that world of complaining about everything around you,
Nobody wants to be around you.
yeah, exactly. That's the harsh truth. People don't really want to be around people that complain all the time. So if you're wondering, why you, may not have as many friends as you may think, because maybe you complain all the time. So appreciating the world blindly, though, is not good either. So I think we have to, somewhere in between, we find a happy medium. But we appreciate living in America, I assure you. And 95% of the world doesn't have this amazing amount of food. People come from Africa to our country and they look at our markets and they're like stunned by the bounty. Oh, I turned that off, sorry.
Well, I can,
No, I'm just going to maneuver this. There we go, okay. And I'm going to stand away from the microwave too.
how long should I do it for?
I'd say 4 minutes. I usually walk about 5 feet away from the microwave.
Did you turn it off?
Yes, no, it's on. It's
The
15.
timer is on?
Oh, I didn't do the timer. I don't have the timer.
No, I have it on.
Cool. So she's putting a timer on the stuffing, and I guess we will be starting our video a little earlier than 4, which the longer we take in this time period, the sooner we'll be playing the video to round it out to the 6 o'clock hour. That'll be good. But when we live in a country as beautiful as this, and as much as I complain about a lot of things going on in the country, we're very lucky, all of us are, to be in America. And I know that the rest of the world is watching, and they realize that, you know, we have an obligation to kind of fix what we have here. Because our country's used more resources than any other country over the years, and we really have to kind of move towards sustainability now. And teach the rest of the world how to be sustainable if we can, but not force it on them. Everyone has to learn their own way at their own pace. So, I'm talking over the microwave, which is 5 feet away.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. It's a good mic. It should pick me up. So this is the dinner, and we are doing really well. I'm glad that
We have some brown sugar.
I just don't know if it's in there.
I found it.
We found it. I've got dried maple sugar too, in the other room. So this is right out of the can. This kind of thing. The organic whole berry cranberry sauce. You can just serve it right out of the can. Run right. Let me get that.
If you want. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of butter to my yam dish. Oh my goodness.
That's the stuff. This is the perfect
Oh my goodness.
thing to add to this. Maple syrup. Yeah, dried maple syrup. Look at that. Pure maple sugar. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's not brown sugar. That's right from the tree.
Wow.
That's gonna be good.
I'm not gonna put all these pineapples in butter. So.
Yeah, like half a can. I mean, you know this recipe. I don't even know it.
I just made it up.
Well, it's a good recipe. We've had it before. It's super tasty. It's like the ultimate starch and sweetness at the same time. You can make boiled potatoes at this point if you really have a lot of people to cook for.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, you know, peeling like 7 or 8 potatoes and put that on the table. We used to do that when we had a big family to serve.
We like just making 3 simple things. That's it.
That's actually cool. Yeah, it's perfect for us.
Stuffing, green bean,
Yeah.
yams.
And this neck bone, what we'll do is we'll pull the neck meat off of there and we'll take the meat off of this. Yeah, I'll show you. What we'll do with the neck bone is just sitting in the broth right there, and we would take this tong here like this, and let's do this right. Okay, I got it. We put it right there. No, then you let it cool off. And once it cools off, then you can actually pull all the meat out. Yeah. And then we put that in our gravy, and then you dice this up really fine, the heart and the liver, and that goes in your gravy, the giblets.
So again, he was saying we're letting this cool off, and then we shred off the meat off the neck bone. We dice the giblets and the heart super thin, and then that will go into our gravy.
Right. I think that could just sit for a while and rehydrate.
I think so too.
Yeah, she's gonna rehydrate the
again,
cranberries.
this was dried apricots with pineapple juice, pre-cooked a little bit, and then I have my yams and a little bit of pineapple. Then I will mix these two later once these apricots have rehydrated a bit. And then I'm gonna put in some pecans in there. And I want to make sure I mix the pecans in instead of putting them on top, otherwise they'll burn.
Right. Good idea.
And also some butter, and then maybe a little bit of maple sugar on top, and that is the yam dish.
Wonderful.
And that is it. I think we're almost done. What do you think?
Well, yeah, we are almost done.
Do we have any fruit cocktail?
No, that would be perfect though if we did.
No, a can of fruit cocktail.
Well, you've been amazing. So to recap, we're going to be putting the bean dish in, for about I'd say about an
30
hour,
minutes,
30 minutes,
45 minutes
45
before
minutes.
the turkey's done. So basically, an hour before we think the turkey needs to come out. So in 1 hour, I'm double checking. Yeah, in 1 hour, the stuffing will come out, the dressing,
Right.
and we'll have that to munch on while we're waiting for the turkey. And then in about 3 hours, we'll take the turkey out. We'll flip it over so that and you cook it a little bit, a little longer that way, and then you take the lid off. So then the breast, the skin gets darker. And then at about that time, we'll put the green bean dish in to the oven and the sweet potato dish in the oven.
Right,
Or
green bean
yam
and sweet
dish.
potato. And then
And
this
then-
is the next phase. We'll be pulling the meat off of this and making it into a little gravy. And I have chicken gravy if you have the need for that. You can buy chicken gravy, but again, you got to worry about MSG.
Yeah,
So-
that's true. You can buy chicken gravy. We just like to make things from scratch, and it's been a nice holiday time to spend time with each other in the kitchen.
It is
Thank
great.
you for spending your time with us.
Thank you, and we'll see you in the show. Thanks, everybody.